Hey, what's up guys, Satish here and welcome to my channel. Redmi Note series is one of the most popular smartphones out there. They come with great specifications, build quality and fall under the budget. Wait, let me take over from here. So we have two phones today, that's Redmi Note 8 Pro and Redmi Note 7 Pro. Let's compare these two siblings side by side and find out is it worth to buy Redmi Note 8 Pro over Redmi Note 7 Pro. And as you know, this is Satish. Let's get started. Redmi Note 8 Pro, which was launched lately, starts from Rs 14,999 for 6GB of RAM, whereas Redmi Note 7 Pro is available for as low as 11,999 for 4GB of RAM, and 6GB of RAM costs Rs 13,999. Both the boxes get TPU cover, manual and guides, SIM ejector tool, standard power adapter, and Type-C USB cable. As expected, we don't get earphones bundled in these boxes. Both these phones are built using plastic. Even the frame that goes all around the phone is made of plastic. But they are solid enough to survive on accidental drops since they are not shock absorbent like metal. Redmi Note 8 Pro holds upper hand when it comes to the firm grip design given on sides of the back, which makes it easy to hold the phone as they are curved and fits well in your palms. Besides this, both these phones have good build quality with a combination of plastic and metal on camera bumps. Not to forget, both the sides of these phones are well protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Redmi Note 7 Pro is bit compact, slimmer, and weighs way lesser than Redmi Note 8 Pro. Redmi Note 8 Pro gets two slots, one for first SIM card and the other slot is for the second SIM card and microSD card, which supports up to 256GB. Personally, I felt the audio jack placement on Redmi Note 8 Pro is more practical and rational compared to the one found on Redmi Note 7 Pro. Redmi Note 8 Pro has splash-proof design by P2i nano coating. Redmi Note 7 Pro as well has splash-proof design, but it is not as trustworthy as Redmi Note 8 Pro. In terms of design, Redmi Note 8 Pro stands out a bit due to the gradient white given on back. This looks more inspired from Samsung S10 series in fact. At any angle, Redmi Note 8 Pro doesn't look like a budget smartphone, and Xiaomi did good job in keeping up with the latest design trend. Let's talk about the display of these phones. Both these phones are powered by Full HD Plus IPS displays with 19.5:9 ratio and protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Redmi Note 8 Pro is bit taller as it has 6.5-inch display compared to 6.3-inch display on Redmi Note 7 Pro. Redmi Note 8 Pro's display is slightly superior in terms of brightness and offers more widescreen viewing experience than Redmi Note 7 Pro. By saying it doesn't mean Redmi Note 7 Pro has inferior viewing display, it is as good as Redmi Note 8 Pro. Redmi Note 8 Pro comes with 4 rear cameras. Basically, the first camera from top is 8MP ultra-wide camera, and below that 64MP wide camera, and the other two 2MP cameras are for macro and depth sensor features. These two cameras work only when there is necessity. The 48MP main camera on Redmi Note 7 Pro works all the time, and 5MP depth sensor works when there is necessity. Let's compare few pictures first. In this picture, Redmi Note 7 Pro may look colorful, but Redmi Note 8 Pro capture the natural photo. Let's zoom as you can find more details on Redmi Note 8 Pro. Another day, another picture. The picture taken from Redmi Note 8 Pro is real and it is not as dark as the one found on Redmi Note 7 Pro. Both managed to take good picture by not losing any color and sticking to the natural light. These photos are taken under low light and we don't see much of difference. But when you zoom in, you would see how Redmi Note 8 Pro manages to help in details. Let's talk about the portrait mode on these phones. Redmi Note 8 Pro slightly offers better light on the object, and in terms of detail, both manage to do good job. Redmi Note 8 Pro easily beats Redmi Note 7 Pro in this photo. It focuses on the object and tries to blur the background more and more. In terms of color, both did great job in sticking to natural color, but look at the details found on Redmi Note 8 Pro as it is capable of capturing more details. These pictures taken at medium light conditions, Redmi Note 8 Pro throws more light whenever there is less light around. These are night mode shots. Both did good job in utilizing the aperture. Both the videos are recorded in 1080p or 30 frames per second, and both are enabled with stabilization by default. Redmi Note 8 Pro is slightly even more stabilized and offers more natural colors. Redmi Note 8 Pro tries to keep natural, whereas Redmi Note 7 Pro tries to beautify more. The 20 megapixel camera found on Redmi Note 8 Pro seems to be doing its job. So Redmi Note 8 Pro is slightly better utilizing its quad camera, but Redmi Note 7 Pro with just two cameras still managed to compete well against a quad camera phone. Redmi Note 8 Pro sports a MediaTek Helio G90 chipset, whereas Redmi Note 7 Pro sticks to customers' preferred and favorite Snapdragon 675. Both these chipsets on these phones are fast, efficient and smooth, as you don't come across any lags while operating these phones, even during the multitasking. Just like the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, and same applies to Redmi Note 8 Pro as well. When it comes to gaming, MediaTek Helio G90T on Redmi Note 8 Pro gonna easily overtake Redmi Note 7 Pro, as it has intelligent speed, rapid gaming technology and better resource management for better and longer gameplay. Redmi Note 8 Pro gets liquid cooling technology inside the phone to keep the phone under temperature to function smoothly during the multitasking and during the gameplay especially. Again, Redmi Note 8 Pro boots faster than Redmi Note 7 Pro. Both the phones run on Android 9 Pie and MIUI 10 on top, and upgradable to MIUI 11 in future. At least we can expect MIUI 11 sooner on Redmi Note 8 Pro since it's a new launch. And both the phones are identical in terms of user interface and the features loaded. But Redmi Note 8 Pro comes preloaded with Alexa Assistant, which has slightly upper hand over Google Assistant, as Alexa can come handy in using Alexa ecosystem. Okay, if you still prefer Google over Alexa, don't worry, it's still available on Redmi Note 8 Pro. Both the phones have rear mounted fingerprint scanner and they are positioned to reach easily. They both work fast and there is no doubt about them. But the problem with Redmi Note 7 Pro's fingerprint scanner is it is reachable but doesn't have the design to find it naturally sometimes, as it is as flat as the back panel. If you find it harder sometimes, then use the protective cover given in the box to solve this problem, as it is no more as flat as the phone. The face unlock feature on these phones as well works fine as long as you are in better lighting condition, but both these phones fail to face unlock in dark conditions as they work with the help of camera. Both these phones have generous battery to last long for one full day. In fact, the chipsets in these phones help to keep as efficient as possible. I could easily use these phones by playing games and watching videos for several hours and still ending up with around 25% of battery left end of the day. In order to full charge this 4000 mAh battery on Redmi Note 7 Pro from 0 to 100, it takes nearly 100 to 110 minutes. And 4500 mAh battery on Redmi Note 8 Pro takes additional 20 minutes for the fact it has additional 500 mAh battery. Both these bottom firing loudspeakers are louder than some flagship phones out there. In terms of performance, both the phones performed way higher than I expected, as they sounded great, as noise doesn't dominate even at high volumes and output was fine. So who's the winner? Redmi Note 8 Pro wins by a margin, not because it's a brand new phone, but it has good design overall, triple quad slot, liquid cooling technology, bigger battery, gimmicky yet good cameras, make the Redmi Note 8 Pro better phone than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. I would recommend to go for Redmi Note 8 Pro, as it costs just additional 1000 rupees over Redmi Note 7 Pro. So that's it, hope you liked the video. And if you think I deserve a credit for making this video, hit the subscribe button down there and become part of this lovely channel. As you know, this is Satish. Have a nice day and stay awesome.